Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're very welcome. My name is Couscous and this is the Get Ahead family. On this channel, I share global opportunities and how to migrate abroad through work and through studies. In today's video, I'm literally going to be talking about the skilled worker visa. I noticed that on this channel, I have made a lot of reference to skilled worker visa and I've assumed that people know everything about this visa already because of how much reference I make to it. However, I have actually not dedicated a video for skilled worker visa. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys through what a skilled worker visa is, what is the eligibility requirement, what is the document that you need to make this application, who can apply for this, what can you do with a skilled worker visa in the UK, and everything around skilled worker visa. In order not to make this video to be too long, I always recommend that whenever I make a video like this, I would definitely put the link to the UKVI website in the description box. So all you need to do is visit the website and check all the information that I shared just to cross-check that they are correct and also make your own individual research. So that's what this video is going to be about. Welcome back to the channel. If you're here to subscribe, please do well to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Please accept my apologies for my exposure. Okay, I'm using natural light because I'm filming during daytime and it is not giving me what it should give. 1 minute the light is very bright, the next minute the light is dim. I don't know what to do. I have tried different things but it's not working. But I have to make this video because whatever the case, we have to make content. Let's get right into this video. So as you already know, I'm definitely going to be sharing my screen because I like to show you guys what I'm doing. I like to show and not talk. All you need to do is come to UKVI website, www.gov.uk, and navigate down to work in the UK. Go down and you're going to see popular work visa as health and care work visa, skilled worker visa. Let me know if you want me to talk about the health and care worker visa. I have been silent on this particular visa because of personal reasons, but let me know if you actually want me to talk about it. Okay, so we're talking about skilled worker visa today, and then you're just going to click and you're going to see everything we are going to talk about. We're going to go through the overview, the job, everything you need to know about this visa. We are going to talk about it today. So please take your pen and paper, fasten your seatbelt because you already know when we start. So fasten your seatbelt and let's get right into this video. Before I proceed, I would like to introduce the sponsor of this video, Amber Student. Amber Student is a platform that provides students from across the globe in study abroad destinations, provide them with accommodations, very convenient, comfortable accommodations. You all know already that there are housing crises across the globe. In fact, it is not only UK that is facing housing crisis. So a lot of people are having issues, difficulties getting accommodations, especially students. This is where Amber Student comes in. All you need to do is click the link in the description box to this video, visit Amber Student website, scroll through and see the possible accommodation options that are available for you and closer to your university, using filters like budget, type of place. When you see the property you like, you can choose to go ahead and reserve the property, and then of course Amber Student will contact you and they will take it up from there. However, if you do not just want to reserve on the website and you want to speak to them first, there's an option for you to input your details, declare your interest, or this is the kind of accommodation I want, this is the kind of room I want, and then they'll reach out to you, providing you with options that best match your requirements. So thanks to Amber Student for sponsoring this video. So the skilled worker visa. A skilled worker visa allows you to come to or stay in the UK to do an eligible job with an approved employer. This visa has replaced the Tier 2 General Work Visa. So there used to be a visa called Tier 2 General Work Visa. The skilled worker visa replaced that visa. Now, the eligibility requirement: to qualify for a skilled worker visa, you must work for a UK employer that's been approved by the Home Office. Now, it is not just any employer that can give you a job for you to apply for skilled worker visa. An employer that is approved by the Home Office means that the Home Office recognizes this employer as a licensed sponsor. That means this employer has the license to sponsor foreign workers to come and work for them in the UK. You must have a certificate of sponsorship from your employer with information about the role you have been offered in the UK. When you are being offered a job, for you to apply for a skilled worker visa, the employer has to issue you a certificate of sponsorship, which contains all the details of your role, the kind of job, the job description, how much they are paying you, the location, everything about the job. You would need that to apply for a skilled worker visa. This is similar to what students will need to apply for a student visa, but that one is called confirmation of acceptance of studies. At the end of the day, your employer is the sponsor, so you will need this document for you to be able to apply for visa. You must do a job that's on the list of eligible occupations. So there is a list of skilled worker jobs. All you need to do is come to UKVI website and check that link, that list, and go through to see what kind of jobs are eligible. So if you apply and get a job, the job must be within the eligible occupations on the skilled worker list for you to be able to apply for a skilled worker visa. The specific eligibility depends on your job exactly. That's why you must come. Don't worry, we are going to go through that list. I'm trying to make this video not too long, but I have to provide the necessary information. You must be able to prove knowledge of English. So if you have never been to the UK before, or you've never proved English language requirement, then you have to prove English language requirement either by writing IELTS or any other approved way that UKVI approves. Now, if you have already proved English language in your previous application, then you do not need to prove again. For instance, you came to the UK to study, and before you did, you had provided IELTS or another way to meet your English language proficiency, and it was accepted. Then while applying for skilled worker visa, you will not need to provide English language requirements again. How long you can stay? Your visa can last for up to 5 years before you need to extend it. You need to apply to extend or update your visa when it expires, or if you change jobs or employer. Now, what you need to know is that the employer determines how long your skilled worker visa would be. If they give you a job and they said this job is permanent, now they would indicate on your certificate of sponsorship if the job is permanent. The job is permanent means you can apply for your visa for up to 5 years. After 5 years, you can renew. That's what it means. But if the job is temporary, maybe it's 1 year or 2 years, it will also be indicated on the certificate of sponsorship, so you will know, or UKVI will know. So you're going to use the details on your certificate of sponsorship to apply for the visa. How to apply? You must apply online. Of course, it depends on where you are. If you're inside the UK, there are conditions. If you're outside the UK, there are conditions. If you're switching from a different visa to a skilled worker visa, there are also conditions. And usually for a skilled worker visa, you don't need to exit the UK if you are with certain types of visas and you want to switch. Also, when you come into the UK with a skilled worker visa, which means an employer hired you, sponsored you to come to the UK with a skilled worker visa, and then you change your employer or you change your job and your subsequent employer is willing to sponsor you, you would have to apply and update your visa, your skilled worker visa. There's also procedures on the UKVI website. You can always bring your dependents if you are on a skilled worker visa. How long it takes? So you can apply for a visa up to 3 months before the day you are due to start working in the UK. Your date of resumption is provided on your certificate of sponsorship, so you can apply for skilled worker visa up to 3 months before that day. Of course, you would do your biometric permit if you need to, depending on your country. Your decision would usually come out within 3 weeks. When you apply for a skilled worker visa, you'll need to have enough money. For you to apply for a skilled worker visa, you need to pay for your visa application, which is between £625 to £1,423, depending on the circumstances and how many years you're applying for. You must pay for healthcare surcharge, which is £624 per year. So if you're applying for your skilled worker visa for 5 years, then you have to pay £624 times 5. That is applicable to your dependents as well. So this may be another issue you may want to consider before you say, oh, I want to apply for 5 years straight. Some people would just, even if the job is permanent, they may just want to apply for 2 or 3 years at the beginning, so that, especially those who have dependents, so that they can have enough money to cover everybody's expenses. And then you will need to show evidence that you have enough money to sustain you for 1 month when you come to the UK. The rationale for this is, you know that when you get a job, you are going to work for a whole month before you get your pay, your salary. So the UK government wants to see that you have enough money to take care of yourself throughout that 1 month. Now, for the applicant, you will need 1,270 for the month in pounds, and there are some exemptions. The exemption is that your employer can choose to indicate on the certificate of sponsorship that they are willing to provide maintenance for you, and if they provide that information on the certificate of sponsorship, you will not need this proof of funds for 1 month. If you are applying from outside the UK, the standard fee depends on whether you be in the UK for up to 3 years. So if you're in the UK for up to 3 years, then it's 625 per person. If you're in the UK for more than 3 years, it's 1,235 per person. If you're applying from inside the UK to extend, switch or update your visa, the standard fee depends on whether you'll be in the UK for up to 3 years. If you're in the UK, if you're within the UK and you're switching to a skilled worker visa and you're applying for up to 3 years, then the application fee is £719 per person. But if you're applying for more than 3 years, then your application fee would be £1,423 per person. If your job is on the shortage occupation list, you and your family will pay a lower application fee. The fee for each person would be £479 if you are staying up to 3 years, or £943 if you are staying for more than 3 years. I have a video already talking about shortage occupation list, so you need to watch that video so that you understand, and then I will likely put the link to shortage occupation list in the description box so that you will see what jobs are in the shortage occupation list. So if your job is in the shortage occupation list, there are less requirements you have to fulfill in order to get a skilled worker visa, which is a very good thing. The fee is the same whether you're applying from inside or outside the UK. That's if you're within the shortage occupation list. There's a different list of shortage occupations if you work in healthcare or education, that you need to know that. I already talked about the proof of funds, and you will need to have had the money available for at least 28 days in a row. So to apply for your skilled worker visa, you need to prove that you have enough money to maintain yourself for 1 month, which is £1,270. You need this money to be in your account for up to 28 days before you make your visa application. That's the 28-day rule also applies here. But you usually need to show proof of this when you apply, unless, so there are people that do not need to show proof of funds when they are applying or switching to a skilled worker visa. If you've been in the UK with a valid visa for at least 12 months, then you don't need to provide proof of funds. For instance, you're a student, you studied for 1 year, and then you're switching from your student visa to a skilled worker visa, or you're switching from your graduate visa to a skilled worker visa. You will not need to provide proof of funds because you've been in the UK for up to 12 months. Then if your employer can cover your costs during your first month in the UK up to 1,270, this is when your employer says we are willing to cover the maintenance or the cost for the 1 month, and it has to be evident in your certificate of sponsorship. Your partner and children will also need to prove they can support themselves while they are in the UK, of course. If your employer can support you instead, your certificate of sponsorship must confirm this. Your employer will need to complete the sponsor certificate maintenance section on your certificate. This is under additional data. So what you can do is, there are some people that even if they have the money to prove maintenance, maybe because the visa fees are expensive, they don't have enough money left. So you may have to tell your employer to certify that they can provide maintenance for you. However your employer wants to do this depends on them. It is their choice on how they want to certify or provide maintenance for you. Some employers do have relocation allowance. Some employers have loans for new employees who are relocating from abroad. So they give you the loan, you use it to apply for your visa, and then when you come into the UK, you can be paying them small off your salary. These are just different ways to help employees, especially those with dependents, to manage the visa cost, because visa fees is expensive. If you are a doctor or nurse, or you work in health or adult social care, check if you're eligible for health and care worker visa, of course. So if you have a skilled worker visa, this is what you can and you cannot do. With a skilled worker visa, you can work in an eligible job, study, bring your partner and children, take additional work in certain circumstances. I made a video about global talent visa. That visa is direct opposite of skilled worker visa. You can do literally anything with that visa, but you see the skilled worker visa, there are some restrictions. If you have not seen the video about global talent visa, you should see that video because it's an eye opener. that visa is juicy. So these are the things that you can and cannot do with skilled worker visa. You can do voluntary work, you can travel abroad and return, you can apply to settle in the UK, also known as indefinite leave to remain if you've lived in the UK for 5 years and meet other eligibility requirements. You cannot apply for most benefits, which is public fund or state pension. You cannot change jobs or employer unless you apply to update your visa. Of course, this is self-explanatory. If you are changing from one employer to another after you get your skilled worker visa, you have to first update your visa and get the approval from UK via before you can switch jobs. Now let's see the eligible jobs for skilled worker visa. This is actually very important because without this you cannot do it. You must meet all the following requirements to be eligible for a skilled worker visa. All the requirements, not one, you must meet all. Your job is eligible for the visa. You'll be working for a UK employer that's been approved by the Home Office. I've talked about that already. You'll be paid at least the minimum salary for the type of work you'll be doing. The minimum salary for the type of work you'll be doing is whichever is highest out of the following three options: 25,600 per year, 10.10 pounds per hour, the going rate for the type of work you'll be doing. If you get a job in the UK and the job is paying you at least 25,600 pounds per year, then it's okay. You may be eligible to apply. Or the job is paying you 10.10 pounds per hour, or the job meets the going rate for the type of work you'll be doing. Now, it has to be whichever is highest. So let's say the going rate of the job you're doing is 30,000 pounds per year and you get a job that pays you 25,600 pounds per year. It is not eligible for skilled worker visa. That's what it means. So there is a way you can check if the job you're being given meets the requirements, and how you can check depends. You can use the occupation code to check the going rate for the occupation. There's a link here. Look up your job's occupation code. There is ONS occupation coding tool here that you can use to check. And then check if an occupation code is eligible for this visa. So when you check an occupation code, let's say teacher, you will know the code from that ONS occupation coding tool. From that, you can now take that code and go to the eligible occupation list for skilled worker visa to check if that job is there. If that job is there, you know that you are eligible to apply for skilled worker visa, and then you now check the payment, whether the payment meets any of the three options using the highest one. But if it is not an eligible occupation, then there's no need going forward with skilled worker application. Just look for another type of visa. The salary requirements, I've already explained the salary. Let me just give an instance. Your salary is 27,000 per year, but the annual going rate for the job you'll be doing is 30,000 per year. You do not meet the usual salary requirement for the visa. I've already talked about that. When you can be paid less. So it says here, if you do not meet the usual salary requirement and you do not work in healthcare or education, you might still be eligible if your salary will be at least 20,480 per year and at least 10.10 per year. Check when you can be paid less. You can be paid less if your job is in the shortage occupation list. You can be paid less if you are under 26, studying, or a recent graduate, or in a professional training. So for instance, you come to study in the UK and you are below 26. You finish your studies, you get a job and you want to apply for skilled worker visa. You are allowed to earn less than the 25,600 if you show that you are under 26 and you are a recent graduate, or is either you are studying or you are a recent graduate, or you are in a professional training. So that's an exception. You have a science, technology, engineering, or maths PhD level qualification that's relevant to your job. That's if you have a PhD qualification that's relevant to the job you got, you can be paid less. If you have a postdoctoral position in science or higher education, that's well explanatory. So if your job is in the shortage occupation list, a shortage occupation is a skilled job where there is a shortage of workers in the UK. If your job is on the shortage occupation list, you can be paid 80% of the job's usual going rate. You can pay a lower fee for your visa. We've already talked about that people whose job is in the shortage occupation list, their visa fee is about 400 and something. So if you want to view the shortage occupation list, view it here to see if your job is included. Make sure you check there's a shortage in the part of UK you'll be working in. So actually, shortage occupation list depends on where it is. It could be in England, Wales, or Scotland. So you have to show that the shortage occupation is actually in the location that is on the UKVI website. I've already explained this. You are under 26, studying or recent graduate or in professional training. You can be paid 70% of your job's usual going rate if one of the following applies. You are under 26 on the date you apply. You are currently in the UK on a student visa studying at bachelor's degree level or above, or you have been in the last 2 years and a student or visa was your most recent visa. That's very explanatory. You are currently in the UK on a graduate entrepreneur visa. You'll be working towards a recognized qualification in a UK regulated profession. For instance, you are in a profession that needs you to do some training before you qualify. If you get a job under that training, you can be paid at least 70% of the going rate of your job. For you to be under the exception where you can earn less than what the UKVI says, your total stay in the UK cannot be more than 4 years if you apply for one of these reasons. This includes any time you've already spent in the UK on a Tier 2 General Work Visa. So, if cumulatively all your stay in the UK exceeds 4 years, you cannot use this exception. You have a PhD level qualification. They have detailed everything that is here. You have a postdoctoral position in science or higher education. They've detailed the courses and everything. Documents you will need to apply. So when you apply, you will need to provide your certificate of sponsorship from your employer, proof of English language. Of course, you may not provide that if you've already met before. A valid passport or other documents that shows your identity, your job title and annual salary, your job's occupation code, the name of your employer and their sponsor license number. All this will be available on the certificate of sponsorship, so you don't have to worry. Other documents you might need: evidence that you have enough personal savings, that's proof of funds for that £1,270. But if your employer certifies maintenance, then you will not need it. You need to know that proof of funds would also apply to dependents. You will need proof of relationship with your partner or children if they are applying with you. With your partner should be like a marriage certificate or civil partnership certificate. With your child should be like a birth certificate. You will need tuberculosis test if you qualify, and there are exemptions as well. If you fall under the exemptions, you will not need to provide tuberculosis test. A criminal record certificate if you are working in certain jobs. Don't worry, you will know depending on the job you got. A valid ATAS certificate if your employer tells you that you need one. Of course, if your job involves researching in tentative subject at PhD level, you will need ATAS. Your UK PhD certificate, if you have one, you need a blank page in your passport because they need to stamp your passport. So this is requirement for those who need a criminal record. All you need to do is come here and check if you need a criminal record. You will need to provide your travel history. So when you have all your documents, you can come to the UKVI website to make the application. So that's it, guys, about the skilled worker visa. I hope that I have addressed all the necessary questions that you have under skilled worker visa. The thing is, I have digested skilled worker visa so much that I feel like I already feel like you guys know because I've been making reference to it. So if you have any questions that I have not addressed, ask me. See, on this UKVI website, I have gone through everything skilled worker visa. So ask me the question. I would find the answer for you. That's because I am not sure that I've been able to cover everything. Of course, skilled worker visa is a very long, it has a lot of different aspects. So let me know if you have any questions and I will be here to answer your questions. Okay, drop a comment. Have you gotten a skilled worker visa? Are you interested in getting a skilled worker visa? I have a video that shows different websites you can get jobs that can sponsor your skilled worker visa. So visit the videos and watch those videos so that you can know how to apply and get your skilled worker visa. I have a lot of videos surrounding how to get the job, CV template, cover letter template that will help you in getting a job that is eligible for skilled worker visa. Let me know if you want content about other kinds of visas. Watch the Global Talent Visa because that is a better visa than a skilled worker visa. So that if you meet the eligibility requirements, you will not even waste your time with skilled worker visa. You will just go straight and apply for the Global Talent Visa. Okay, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.